The extreme heat headed our way. Medical experts are urging everyone to be aware of how the heat can impact your health.
We continue our team coverage with News 3's Amber Rodriguez. She's live after looking into the data where heat played a role in hundreds of deaths.
That's right, and many of us who have lived in Las Vegas for some time may have gotten used to these extremely hot conditions, but it is still crucial to be aware of how it makes you feel, because it could cost you your life. Over the past 2 years, heat was a contributing factor in the rise in deaths in Clark County and surrounding areas. In 2022, the heat was at least one contributing factor in 169 deaths. That number rose to 307 in 2023. Other factors which played a role include drugs and underlying health conditions, which makes it crucial to monitor how your body feels.
It's very important if you or someone you know are experiencing confusion, loss of consciousness, seizures, very high body temperatures, and you've stopped sweating, call 911 immediately.
Dakota Miller with American Medical Response Las Vegas says, it is vital to stay hydrated. And if you are feeling any of those symptoms, you should seek medical assistance.
If you see someone struggling, call 911 right away and then help them get to shade or air conditioning, make sure they're drinking water, and try to be a helpful hand until 911 can assist.
Now, he says if you are sweating, it's actually a good sign, but it also means you're losing water, and staying hydrated before you become dehydrated is key to surviving these extremely hot conditions. Reporting live in downtown, Amber Rodriguez, News 3.
Reminders to take this heat seriously. Amber, thank you.
This is also the time of the year where you do not want your AC to break, because that would be bad news for you and your bank. Kristen Drummond is outside with some tips on how to keep that AC running all summer. Kristen.
Well, Ophelia, if your AC unit does break down, that can cost some big bucks to replace or even repair. And if that happens, take a deep breath. Do not panic. There are a couple of tricks that you can do before you do call someone to come on over to repair it. Now, the first one, this may seem a little unconventional, but this is what I was told by an AC expert. Take a stick or even a hanger like this. Go to your AC unit. If it's not working, stick the hanger or stick inside, and then you want to hit the fan. You want to see if that will trigger it to once again start up, to buy you just a little bit of time while you call someone to come over. Take a look at it and keep you cool, hopefully for just a few more hours.
I know that sounds crazy, but I've had customers say, hey, my fan isn't spinning. I say, hey, put the stick, and next thing you know, it just turns on that fan, and it gets you some life until we come to replace that motor.
Bob's Repair AC and solar experts staying busy right now. Their warehouse is currently stocked with AC units, which they expect to sell actually within the next 3 weeks. The owner tells me their crews are repairing between 40 to 80 units a day right now and installing between 4 to 6 units a day, and starting at 7 in the morning and not even finishing until about 8 or 9 at night. Now, this is the time of year where the strain on units increases and causes them to break down. And if that happens, here are a couple other tips to make sure you are aware of. Checking the filter, make sure it's not clogged, because that can stop a machine from working. So if you clean it, then replace it, put it back, and then the unit may turn on again. Also, inspect your circuit breaker. Sometimes the machine can trip it, so flip the switch in your home or apartment. And sometimes apartments or condo units have a main breaker outside. Go out there as well, flip that to make sure that you can hopefully turn that AC back on. And lastly, look at the thermostat to make sure the batteries didn't die. If so, replace them, and that can help the AC turn on again. And when that all doesn't work, call for repair immediately, because it may take a few days to just even get an appointment right now. But some out there do feel confident with their AC making it through this summer season. What will you do if your AC unit breaks down?
I'm gonna have to try to call the maiden man. If he don't come show up, then I'll have to call my daughter-in-law and tell her to come get me, and I'll have to go stay with them a couple of days till they fix it. That's all I can do.
Now, inside the home, don't open windows or doors. That can bring more hot air in and cause the AC unit to work even harder. Also, make sure you close those blinds and curtains, because you don't want that heat coming in. You want to try and keep that your place as cool as possible. Now, when I did speak with Fred with Bob's Repair, he told me that if he does have a customer that they can't help service for at least a few days because of the demand, they'll actually bring over window units so that they can at least help them keep cool, at least in one room of their home, until they can get a technician out there. Reporting live just outside the station, I'm Kristen Drummond, News 3, Latoya.
All right, some good tips there. Thank you so much. As we monitor the heat, we know that some people are in more danger of heat stroke and death than others. News 3's Tiffany Lane has more on the resources available to vulnerable populations.
While the heat can be dangerous for everyone, there are some who are in it constantly, like those who are living homeless. There are other vulnerable populations like our seniors. Now today, I spoke with several groups in the community, sharing some resources to help get them some relief.
I wouldn't be surprised with the heat and everything and how high it's gonna get if you don't actually wonder if this person is dead or like had a heat stroke and no one's seen it.
Kevin Ennis has lived on the streets for 5 months now, worried for some of his other unhoused neighbors when it comes to the triple-digit temperatures. He says having a tent has been a huge advantage.
As you see, I'm not sweating like that because, you know, this blanket is like heat material, like resistant and all that.
Ennis says when you live outside, you have to do your best to keep cool.
I want to stay hydrated, always got drinks, always got cold, you know, in my ice bucket.
Wednesday, another resource will be available. Cooling stations will be activated across Clark County. These are indoor rooms with air conditioning and free water. Part of the problem is many don't know they exist.
If you're ready, you can grab my hand and I will pull you.
That's where Vegas Stronger is trying to help. Not only does the nonprofit have an outreach team to get people off the streets and help with substance abuse and mental health, days like Tuesday, they let people know resources to get them into a cool place during scorching heat.
We know that 2 of the biggest killers is the heat and overdoses. Right, so we can tackle them both at the same time by just coming out here and offering some help to people.
So they continue to pass out flyers, letting people know where to go and that they're not alone.
Our goal is to get someone in the treatment, right, with a golden ticket. I understand that today might not be the right day for you, right? In the meantime, I still don't want you to die, right? So thank God, Help Hope Home and Clark County has put together a plan to have cooling stations around the valley, stretching from Henderson, the city of North Las Vegas, where someone can go to and get out the heat safely.
There are some signs to look out for: sweating heavily, nausea, vomiting, and dizziness. This can turn from heat exhaustion to heat stroke. The Southern Nevada Health District says it's important to also monitor our senior population especially.
A lot of elderly may be on their own, and so they don't have someone kind of looking out for them. Or it's good to check in on, elderly family members that are older.
She encourages the elderly to stay in the air conditioning if possible.
During the summer months, especially while we have these alerts, it's better just to stay inside your home as much as you can if you're an older person and you don't need to go out.
Now, for anyone wanting more information on those cooling stations, as well as other resources available to beat the heat, you can head to our website, news3lv.com. I'm Tiffany Lane reporting from downtown Las Vegas.
New at 6:30, as summer heat scorches the Desert Valley, a local pet rescue is now trying to raise awareness over what they say is a growing problem here. Organizers say in recent months, they've seen an uptick in abandoned animals at various dumping grounds, including several desert areas throughout the valley. News 3's George Acosta joining us now live at one of those common sites near Hollywood and Desert Inn with all the details. George?
Yeah, well, volunteers with the Paws Patrol LV Rescue tell me, unfortunately, this is just one of those many areas where they've seen an increase of abandoned pets. Now, they tell me that since the beginning of the year, they say they've already rescued nearly a dozen of these abandoned animals in several areas like this one.
Basically, they just leave them to die. I mean, there's nothing out here.
Renan Toro, a volunteer with Paws Patrol LV, says since the start of the year, calls for service of lost or abandoned pet rescues has drastically increased, now becoming almost a daily occurrence.
It's growing, I would say, by the week, by the day. People are dumping dogs everywhere on the street, in the desert. It's hard to keep count because I won't be surprised that we're here right now and we see a dog that just come just walking by here. Because they usually come here, people at night, just dump them.
Toro says volunteers with the organization have already encountered at least one deceased animal in one of the various areas they've rescued dogs from.
Basically, all this desert area back here going to Hollywood View back there, and also Lake Mead going, the Lake Mead view going up towards the lake. That's basically on the east side, that will be the main dumping ground that we have.
Other areas include Frenchman Mountain, the Clark County Wetlands, Red Rock, and Mount Charleston.
We search the area with drones, we walk the area, we put feeding stations, and once we have sighting of the dog or the dogs, and then basically we start setting up a trap, and we monitor the trap. We don't leave traps unattended because, you know, and it's dangerous.
However, with climbing desert temps, Toro says animals like Rex, who was recently rescued, may not have much of a chance.
It's definitely getting hotter, you know, and people dumping here in the desert with no water, no food, they're not going to survive.
Now, as for abandoned pets like Rex, Toro says that he is actively working with local adoptable pet rescues like the Lost and Found Animal Foundation, who has since accepted Rex and is currently looking for experienced fosters to help give animals like Rex a forever home. For now, reporting live in the east part of the valley, Georgia Costa, News 3.
Yeah, and that's all they have to do in the first place if they don't want the animal, is to drop them off at a pet shelter so that they can be safe and hopefully find a forever home. Really frustrating to see that. Thank you so much.
If you're driving anywhere during the heat wave, you'll want to make sure your car is in good shape, because this is not a good time to be stuck along the side of the road. News 3's Andrew Nomura is joining us live with some expert advice on things you should know about before you hit the road, and don't try cooking a quesadilla where you are, Andrew.
As long as you give me some of that salsa, Steve, I think we'll be okay. But let's talk about it. We talked to AAA yesterday, and they gave us some tips to adhere to before you hit the roadway. The biggest tip that they recommended is making sure that you check your car battery. Here on the Southwest, car batteries don't last as long. On a lifespan, on an average of 3 years, so you want to make sure that you check your car battery. You can do so by going to any service station. They'll check it for free, and they'll tell you if you need to get your battery changed or not. Additionally, you need to make sure that you check your vehicle's fluids, right? We're talking about your oil and your transmission fluid and any other fluid that you need to, because a lack of fluid can lead to a car fire, and we don't want that. Lastly, and this is also a good point, come on, Brad, you need to make sure that you check your vehicle's tire pressure. You got to think about it. It might be triple digits outside, but the asphalt is extremely a lot hotter, right? So if that rubber tire meets that hot asphalt, whoa, that rubber expands with the heat, and then that leads to a blowout. Here's John Trainer from AAA with more tips.
Make sure you have vehicle maintenance kits in your car. Things to make sure you can change a tire, or things to make you do simple maintenance or repairs on your vehicle if you need to. We always recommend keep a spare phone, even a disabled phone. You can call 911, and make sure you know who to call if you're going to be on a road.
All right, additionally, you can always keep bottles of water, a change of clothes, a blanket, just in the event that you need to stay in your car or sleep in your car overnight until help arrives. We'll have all of these details and tips on our website, news3lv.com. And Steve, we'll see if we can put a quesadilla on the hood of the car and see if it cooks as well, too. So we'll send it back to you.
One of the best ways to stay cool right now, head on up to the mountain. And while a heat advisory is in effect for the spring mountains, News 3's Denise Rosh found that it's still a very popular destination when the mercury starts to rise.
30 degrees cooler and a world away. Mount Charleston is definitely the place to be to escape the heat. By noon, it was only 80 degrees up here. The Forest Service has been telling me they expect a very busy summer season. Donna Maynard and her family know they would not try this at home.
I just put a chip with a grape in my mouth.
Well, you had a chip in a sandwich.
Eating lunch outside when the Las Vegas Valley is under an excessive heat warning, which is why 3 generations headed up the mountain for a picnic.
Get out of the heat. And we had our granddaughter today, and it's just too hot to do anything. Yeah, and Mommy, it's too hot to take Mommy to the park, so we came here to escape the heat.
And they're not alone. From prime seating in the meadow for a view of the wild horses to a chairlift ride at Lee Canyon, locals and Las Vegas visitors say it's all about elevation during a heat wave.
It's going to be like 108, I believe, there at our hotel, and I thought it would be cool. I thought we were going to see snow, which we did. There is snow up top there.
I don't know about you, but I get a little cabin fever during the summer times, and so being able to get out of the house and be somewhere still outside in nature but not be melting is a huge plus too.
Paul Barger is with marketing for the Lee Canyon Resort, who says with winter now melting away, the property is turning to its summer calendar. The downhill mountain bike park, for instance, opens next week.
We've got axe throwing. We've got disc golf is slowly opening up as well, so we'll have 18 holes of disc golf available here in the coming weeks.
I love it. It's beautiful up here.
Malcolm Waddy has his own weather station outside his Las Vegas home. One look this morning sealed the deal on a drive to the mountains.
9 o'clock this morning, it was already at 99. So I said, come on, let's go up and enjoy the cool weather.
Back at the picnic grounds, Maynard knows it can always be worse. And probably will be.
August is always hot for me. Yeah. They don't call it the dog days of August for nothing.
And it is certainly worth repeating that some of the most popular hiking trails on the mountain do remain closed this season because of flooding last year. You certainly can check at the visitor center, though, on your way up. From Kyle Canyon, Denise Roche, News 3.
Just got word at the station that massive market dedicated to the latest residency over at the Sphere is going to head indoors because of this extreme heat. Shakedown Las Vegas is what it's called, and they're going to go over to the Tuscany Suites Hotel Casino. This market is where fans of the Grateful Dead have been getting all kinds of gear, and it's been outside since the whole residency at the Sphere started a few weeks ago. But now it's going indoors. It's going to go into one of the ballrooms over at Tuscany Suites, and that is just off the Strip.
Well, what happens when the AC goes out? Well, a local business offers a cool solution for customers. Who else do we send out on this blistering hot day? Kristen Drummond joining us live right now with how this business is helping keep people cool. Kristen?
Well, Bill, living out here in the desert when your AC breaks is not ideal, especially with this excessive heat. And we know this excessive heat can cause a lot of strain on AC units like this. And when they do break, it can take hours, days, maybe even weeks before a technician can even repair it. And yes, you do have some options when that happens. Possibly going out to buy a portable AC unit, but those are costly. You can also just try and just deal with the heat in your home. Also not ideal. So one small business decided to bridge that gap between a broken unit and repairing it. So this is your inventory of units?
So this is one of our locations that we have machines at.
Inside a Henderson garage, Jordan Goodrich stands among portable air conditioners, devices customers can rent from Emergency Mobile AC. How much do you rent these units for?
We rent these for $35 a night.
A small business helping people beat the heat for 3 summers now when their AC units break.
We are a short-term solution to the problem of waiting for your AC to get fixed. This is the solution for them. Instead of having to actually go out and purchase something that they then have to store, they can rent it.
Goodrich owns the company and started it after noticing a need for this support after his AC unit failed one summer.
So I started looking into, is it possible to rent one of these units? And I couldn't find anybody that does this service. So I thought, what a great idea for a business. And it went from there.
The temporary solution provides another option.
Nothing short of a godsend. Like you keep saying, like it's nothing short of a godsend.
And helping one Las Vegas family after their AC broke before Memorial Day weekend, causing the bedrooms to warm up.
It's just direct sunlight just beaming in here all day long.
And impacting Avery Walker's sister, who has special needs and other medical issues.
She just cannot be in a constant environment where it's 90+ degrees.
She has a hospital bed and it has an air compressor attached. When it would get hot in her room, that compressor would shut off and her bed would flatten. She was right on the frame itself.
Walker says the family rents the home. The property owner hired Emergency Mobile AC, who installed one portable unit in her room while technicians continued to work on the home's AC unit.
Walking through the hallway and coming in here, you can feel the difference.
And I can't tell you like just being able to help people. It's rewarding.
Motivation for Goodrich as he works each day to build the brand and meet demand.
We want to be able to help as many people that call us. I never want to turn anyone away.
Now, Goodrich says the company had 250 installations last year between homes and businesses, and just this year they've already done 62 installs, just 7 yesterday, and that number is expected to go up, especially with this excessive heat and even before their big months, which are July and August. Back to you, LaToya.
Yeah, you hope you never need the service, but it's good to know that it's there in case you need it. Thank you so much.
New at 5, the Animal Foundation is helping this group of puppies recover after they were found abandoned in the heat earlier this week. 4 of them, just 4 weeks old, found inside a bucket on a local sidewalk. They were all suffering from all kinds of problems, severe mange. They had open sores, bleeding skin, losing a lot of hair, as you can tell. Fortunately, we're told all 4 are responding well to treatment, so that's the good news. The shelter's looking for foster homes to help with their continued care and recovery. You can find information on how to pitch in that way on news3lv.com. It's been a little over a week since Clark County issued its first sidewalk vending business license.
Yeah, Jose Manuel Carrera and his family, they received the license on May 29th. News 3's Georgia Costa joins us now in studio with what they're saying now after speaking to them about how they're doing and what they're doing to work against this heat.
We have the owners of Aguas Frescas on Cactus and Dean Martin held their first day of business on Monday, and their fresh fruit water is just one way they're helping people cool off.
Congratulations, I want to issue you the first sidewalk vending business license for Clark County.
We had a lot of support from the community and family and friends. A lot of new customers that they didn't even see us on the news, they just saw us driving by, so we're very excited.
On May 29th, Clark County issued its first sidewalk vending business license to Manuel Carrera and his son Alan Carrera, owners of Aguas Frescas located at the Circle K gas station near Cactus and Dean Martin.
Of course, we're very blessed to get this. We don't think we should be the last ones. I think everyone that's willing to work should apply for this permit.
Carrera's father says upfront costs for the sidewalk vending business license cost him upwards of $1,200 after obtaining liability insurance, a Southern Nevada health permit, and both a state and county business license. And after crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's, Carrera's son says it was just a waiting game from there on out.
As long as you have the right equipment and pass those health inspections, you should be good. The longest one was the health permit. It took around 2 weeks. You have to get it inspected by an inspector.
Since opening up for business on Monday, Carrera says he's already seen an outpour of support from community members looking to cool off with a refreshing drink.
It's really satisfying seeing people, enjoy their drinks and thank us for letting them cool off, They need it because of this heat.
And other than his Aguas Frescas, Carrera has another way he's helping keep both his customers and himself cool this summer.
Yeah, we have our swamp cooler, a nice shade. Just drinking a lot of water as well, just staying hydrated, and we're willing to deal with the heat.
Now, Carrera says despite the heat, he plans to be out there every day from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Now, I also reached out to the county, who says to date, they've received 3 sidewalk vendor applications, 2 of which have been approved. But for now, reporting in studio, Georgia Costa, News 3.
All right, a welcome sign of relief for a lot of people who come across them. Thank you so much.
Aguas Frescas, they look tasty for sure. George, thank you.
Well, these extreme temperatures aren't limited to just us here in Las Vegas. Death Valley National Park is expected to hit 121 degrees today.
It's not hot enough around here for you. And go out there. News 3's Denise Ross spent the day out in the park and explains why those visitors say the hotter, the better.
It's hot, very hot. Your skin stings just a little bit.
It's the kind of heat you have to experience to understand.
I'm standing in front of a blast furnace, the door open.
Touring Death Valley National Park during an excessive heat warning. Alessandro Canton is visiting from Italy and says the brutal weather lives up to the hype.
We are curious about the hottest place on Earth, and that's why we're here. We just want to try this kind of temperature, but I just want to go in the car and with the air conditioning right now.
And Park Ranger Matthew Lamar knows that is a good idea.
It can be dangerous here in Death Valley.
Bringing along plenty of water isn't enough. His advice, take those pictures quickly and get back inside.
Death Valley has the hottest temperature ever recorded, 134 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way back in 1913. And twice within the last 5 years, we've hit 130 degrees, which would be top 5 all-time temperatures. They're still considered actually preliminary at this point, but they are going through that verification process right now.
And Lamar tells us summer is actually peak travel season for foreign visitors.
Brazil. Brazil.
A bucket list trip for many people hoping to experience extreme heat. With over 1 million visitors annually, Death Valley is massive, roughly the size of Connecticut. But even for the most adventurous, Badwater Basin here in Death Valley can be a challenge. This is the lowest point in North America, 282 feet below sea level. And in this kind of heat, you are acutely aware of every breath you take in.
Well, when I walked out here, I told Craig I felt like I was in a fire.
Taking on nature in one of the most inhospitable spots on the planet and going home with bragging rights.
Hottest I've ever seen.
Surviving Death Valley in June. Denise Rosh, News 3.
The local group Behind the Blue now teaming up with Pearl Vision to make sure that local law enforcement officers stay hydrated. Officers go out every day wearing 20 to 30 pounds of equipment on their backs, so it's really important for them to also drink plenty of water.
It does get a lot harder in the summer because we end up responding to incidents like barricades or fatal accidents where a lot of the times officers will be out in the sun for hours. So it's hard to stay hydrated during those summer months. And then, you know, we're just starting the summer now and we're already going through a heat wave.
If you would like to help out, you can drop off unopened cases of water or Gatorade to any of the Pearl Visions around the valley. We have the full list of locations and details on news3lv.com.
These temperatures can be dangerous for people who have to work outdoors, like construction crews and postal carriers. News 3's Kalia Patterson has been talking with some of those hardy souls, and they have been telling you that the heat is as bad as we'd think.
Jim, they say the weather is both uncomfortable and unsafe, but they have to bear the heat because their job is essential. And then all of a sudden it kind of hits you.
Just 2 hours into her mail carrying shift, Stacy Stowe says it's difficult for her to stand the extreme heat.
You're literally standing in the sun with mail, packages, everything, and it's just beating down on you.
Thursday, Las Vegas hit 111 degrees, breaking the daily record of 110 set back in 2010. And it's the earliest Las Vegas has ever reached these temperatures. A U.S. Postal Carrier Union president says the heat is already making people sick.
We've seen too many over the years, too many people going to the hospital, emergency room, being taken out by an ambulance. This is a very serious situation that letter carriers are in serving the community.
Construction workers are also feeling the scorching heat.
It almost feels like being in a building, that's caught on fire.
Virginia Tualapai, CEO of Worldwide Safety, teaches them how to stay safe.
To make sure that they are educated on some of the signs if they have symptoms of heat stress, heat stroke, that they have a quick first aid measures.
These workers are pushing to start earlier work shifts to avoid the sun. Meanwhile, postal workers hope to get AC in their work trucks.
Most of them do not. They're a metal box, to be honest. Both construction and postal carrier leaders say not only do these conditions impact their health, it impacts their productivity and their deadline. So they're both working to see if they can get earlier working hours and better equipment to help endure this heat. Live on Charleston Boulevard, Kalia Patterson, News 3.
All right, Kalia, thank you for that, and thank all the good people who are working out in these high temperatures.
Even with that slight cool down, doctors at UMC say it's still hot enough outside to pose a burn danger. And we're talking about a lot more than sunburns. News 3's Kalia Patterson is live at Craig Ranch Regional Park to explain what can happen even in the low hundreds. Kalia.
Steve, the park is closed right now, but earlier today it was full of people in hot temperatures that doctors say can burn you.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
After a week of extreme heat in Las Vegas, things have cooled down a little. Doctors at UMC say temperatures 90 degrees and above can still leave people at risk for burns.
These temperatures are something that can create a completely different type of burn injury for us. The burns themselves are unlike any others. They can be very high severity, very deep, and they can have patients require a very prolonged hospital course.
This empty playground may be a sign that the surfaces may be too hot for children and even for adults.
We have been to a place where it was that hot to where
we literally had to wet the surface in order for them to have fun.
So I had to kind of lift my legs and scoot down on my butt because I couldn't let my legs touch it. It was so hot. I would have got a burn.
Experts say metal, plastic, and the pavement are things to be careful with. Ways to be safe are avoiding walking barefoot and touching things in direct sunlight. One park goer says he made the mistake before.
We know how hot it can get, especially the metal. Even if whatever color it is, it's burning hot. I've burned my hands on it before.
Contact burns may not look severe at first, but they can lead to a trip to the hospital. UMC says extreme heat started early and they've had an increase in burn patients this year.
Burns themselves can be misleading because a lot of times they don't look that severe. It might just be a little bit of a redness around the skin, but they can really progress to be as deep as 2nd degree or 3rd degree burns, and these all require surgery.
Doctors say if you do burn yourself, do not put ice on it. Instead, wash the area and put a cold compress on it. And they said if it does get worse or you do have blisters, to contact a doctor. Live at Craig Ranch Park, Kalia Patterson, News 3.
All right, thank you, Kalia.
A mobile home park in the East Las Vegas Valley without power amid another heat wave here in the area. Crews working to restore power at a mobile home park near Washington Avenue and Lamb Boulevard. NV Energy officials say that it was an equipment failure. While work is done to restore the power, officials are providing the community with generators and a caravan with chargers and water.
Metro Police are investigating the deaths of 6 dogs found in the back of this U-Haul truck in the Northwest Valley this afternoon. They were called to the parking lot out near Tenay and Cheyenne. At first, for one dog locked in the cab of the truck, who was still alive, they were able to rescue that dog, but then found 6 others dead in the back of the truck. Police arrested the owner. Metro says officers found additional animals in a separate vehicle that did have the AC on, and those animals are said to be in good condition.